Can you tell me the availability zone names? Write down 1A, 1B, 1C. Write down. Everyone? Yes. So what are the availability zone names? 1A, 1B, 1C. Can we say that each availability zone is a data center here? Yes. Each availability zone is like a data center. Yes. So guys, now you should also understand that. So we have some codes. So for Mumbai, we should call it as AP minus South minus 1. This is the code for Mumbai, region code. Write down. What is the region code for Mumbai? AP minus South minus 1. Mumbai is equal to AP minus South minus 1. AP meaning not Andhra Pradesh. It is Asia Pacific. And then inside this, how many availability zones are there in Mumbai? We have 3 availability zones. So those availability zones codes are like this. AP minus South minus 1A, AP minus South minus 1B. Write down those. AP minus South minus 1C. So we have 3 availability zones. So at least you should remember this, guys. At least because we will be using all the time Mumbai, right? Mumbai region. So that's the reason why at least we should know what are the Mumbai code and what are the availability zone codes. Good. Okay. Now you tell me these regions and availability zones are managed by? Managed by AWS. So guys, please implement our concept, infrastructure as service. We learned it, right? Yes. Availability zone, data centers, networking, places, everything is managed by AWS. Good. Okay, now we have 3 data centers here, right? Guys, where do I place the servers? Where do I place the servers? In availability zones or not? Availability zone is nothing but data center for us, right? So the servers are placed inside the availability zones. The servers are placed inside the data centers like this. The servers are placed inside the data centers. The servers are placed inside the data centers. So, like this. Let me write that. So, servers are placed in data centers. Servers are placed in data centers. Guys, is it good to, can we rephrase this? Can you please rephrase this and tell me? Can you please rephrase this and tell me? This line. Instead of calling servers, what should we call? Okay, now let me put servers are placed in availability zones. Okay, this is good. And still we can rephrase it. So now instead of servers, now I put it as instances. Instances are, instead of placed, we would call it as instances are launched in availability zones. Instances are launched in availability zone. Instead of saying create, place, and all, so it is always good to call it as launched. Instances are launched in availability zones. Getting it? Okay. Now, how many availability zones are there in Mumbai? 3. So these 3 availability zones can communicate with each other. So these 3 availability zone can communicate with each other. So that meaning, guys, one server from 1A can talk to another server in 1B? Yes. Availability zones can communicate with each other because they are within the region. So within the region, how many availability zones are there doesn't matter. So these servers availability zones can communicate with each other. Availability zones can communicate with each other. Availability zones can communicate with each other. Okay. So that meaning, do you agree that availability zones are communicated with each other, meaning they are through network only, right? So availability zones networks are interconnected. Can I rephrase that word? So I'm slowly taking into our AWS language. So availability zones networks are interconnected. Availability zones networks are interconnected. Good. Good. So, guys, availability zone in network are interconnected. That meaning, if you put your photo, let's say if you put a data called A, that data will be automatically be available in A, here in B, in 1B. No, guys, data is not. Data not. So maybe the servers can communicate from this server. You can connect to this server, but whenever you put any data here, automatically it will be available here. No, data is not synchronized. Only network is interconnected, not data. So let me be clear on that also. So availability zone are in sync with each other. Sync meaning through what? Through network. Not the data. But if you want, you can do it because the network is there. If you want, you can do it. The network is there. Okay. But by default, no. By default, no. Right? Yes. So, guys, network are interconnected. The data is not replicated. If you put, let's say, for example, Pravesh, I'm telling you this. See, you have your laptop and you put some photos there. That laptop and two laptops are there. You are connected within the same network. And if you put some photos in your laptop, that same photos will be available in another laptop. No, no. But if you make it available, it will be there because they are interconnected. The same thing I'm saying here. So if you put some data in some instances over here in 1A availability zone, the data is not automatically replicated to 1B. No, we are not talking about the data, but the network is interconnected. The network is there, but by default, data is not replicated from here and there because it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. Right? I'll come to that point, Nikhil. Guys, is this clear till here, everyone? Good. So now you tell me I have a requirement to launch 10 EC2 instance. 10 instances. I want to launch how many? 10 instances, 10 servers. So is it good to go ahead and then put all my 10 machines in one availability zone? You said no. But is it possible to put it? First of all, yes, it is possible to put it, but it is recommended to put all your machines in one availability zone? Definitely not. So guys, always distribute your servers among the availability zones. But guys, if you distribute the servers among availability zones, they can talk to each other. Yes, because we learned just now the networks are interconnected. If the networks are interconnected, why can't we spread? Why can't we distribute our servers across availability zones? We can, right? So I'll write that also. So remember, so best practice is to distribute instances across availability zones. Agree? Agree? Agree, guys? So best practice is to distribute the instances across availability zones. Okay, now you tell me the scenario. Now we have put all these 10 instances or 10 servers in one availability zone. What is the problem? Why you said to distribute is always better? Why can't I put all my 10 machines in one availability zone? Yes. Boom. So if one availability zone goes down, all your 10 customers are damal. Is gone. It's gone. So now the question here is, Is it easy that 1A availability zone just like that will go down, which is managed by AWS? 1A availability zone is handled by AWS. Is it easy that 1A availability zone goes down? Guys, you have very less chance. Very less chance. You have very less chance. So very less chance that one availability zone goes down. Let me explain you why. Okay, I used to ask these things to to every batch, but see here. Guys, as we are using, which region we are using it, guys? Which region we are using? Mumbai region, right? So guys, can you please tell me few places in Mumbai? Those who are from Mumbai, or I know few places there. Dadar, Andheri, yes, Aroli, right? What is that? Thane. I'm not from Mumbai, but I learn from students. Thane and Powai. Is there Powai? Kalyan. And then finally Juhu. Bandra. Yes. And Kurla. Okay. Yes. Whatever. So guys, these are the places from Mumbai. So guys, just put our logic. We already know that one availability zone, guys. So one availability zone meaning one data center. Is that AWS can do like that for us? 1A availability zone meaning 1A data center? Definitely not, because AWS doesn't depend upon only one data center. So guys, here, let's say for example, he might have one data center in Dadar, he might have another data center in Andheri, right? He might have another data center in Aroli, guys, and all these three places, the collection of multiple data centers, he call it as 1A. He call it as 1A. So guys, one availability zone meaning multiple data centers in the back end, right? So here, all these places, he will do like this, and he call it as, he'll have multiple data centers, but he call it as here 1B. And the same for this. So now you tell me, is there any chance that 1A availability zone goes down? Will there be any chance? Guys, 99%, 99.999999%, no. Because if 1A availability is that, if the entire availability zone goes down, that means it's really bad for AWS. So he might have, guys, high availability between the data centers here. He might have the high availability between the data centers. Okay, from here to here. If any data center in Dadar goes down, you have Andheri, and you have Aroli. If this goes down, you have still Aroli, right? So if the entire data center is going down, AWS will not keep just watching that. So just go and do all kind of stuff there. But remember, guys, 99.999% availability zone never goes down. So I am using since many years. I have never heard till now that availability zone has went down. No. So can we say that one availability zone meaning multiple data centers? Yes, one availability zone contains multiple data centers. So, okay, people are asking, by mistake, if we lose the data center, do we really worry about that? Do we need to even talk about that? Because that is managed by whom? that is managed by AWS. It's AWS responsibility that he should make everything available for us. Just in case if any third world war or some flood came, then etc., then don't worry. They have the backups and they will easily take care of your data. Data will never go lost. Okay. Is it clear till here, everyone? Super. Super. Okay. Now, so guys, do we have let's say, for example, we have the customers in India. So which region would you choose to place your instances? Mumbai only, na? So if you have your customers in India, will you place your servers in Ireland or in London or in no, right? What will happen if you do that? What will happen if you do that? What is the problem? Latency issues, right? Latency issues. So guys, here we have something called, we need to know these two differences between them. Low latency and high latency. Which one is good? Yeah, low latency is good, high latency is good. Many people confuse here. So remember guys, low latency is always good and high latency is bad. Is bad. Right? So that meaning, let's say whenever you open a Google, within fraction of seconds, you should get it, right? That is called low latency. That meaning, let's say you will get it in 2 milliseconds. That is low latency. But if you are getting it for 1 second, is it good for you? That is called high latency. That is called high latency. So keep this in mind. Whenever if you have a customers in particular region, you should choose that region only. You might have a question, sir, what if my customers is across the world? You have the concept to handle it. You're asking me, Vamsi? Okay. So what if we have customers in India and Ireland? Do we have created instance about? That's what I said. Not everything in one shot. I understand you are experienced guy and you already know about it a bit, but let's not get everything here because I have so many my dear non-IT guys. So I don't want to jump it. So let's learn smoothly one by one. Okay. When we go to that concept, we'll talk about that. Agree? Yes? Yeah. Okay. So now, let's say, so do we have only Mumbai region? We have another region also, na, guys? So we have another region. Let's say I'll put another region here. This is another region. This is another region. Can you name one region? Can I put Ireland? Okay, put Singapore, Ireland, whichever it is. Okay. Now you tell me, guys. And Ireland region will also have its own availability zone, na, guys? Yes or no? Ireland will have its own availability zone. It can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5. It's up to you, up to the AWS. Up to AWS. Right? Okay, now you tell me, I have one server, guys, I have one server over here and I have another server over here. Can these two talk to each other by default? Which is two different regions? Guys, answer is no. So guys, remember, two regions cannot talk to each other by default. These two regions cannot talk to each other. They are not interconnected. No. Only availability zones within the region are interconnected, but remember, with the regions are not, by default network is not interconnected. But if required, yes, right? So remember, these two are not interconnected. Network is not interconnected. No. But if required, yes. If required, yes. But by default, two regions, they don't talk to each other. Remember that. Yeah. So here, let me put that here for you for reference. Okay. So regions don't communicate with each other by default. These are all certification questions also, guys. Guys, is this clear till here before I go to the next thing? Yes. Now you know what is regions. Now you know what is availability zones. So now let's have some fun. So let's go into this. And now you should say whether that is highly available or not. Guys, this one, the circle, the border circle is AWS and the dotted ones are availability zones. Remember, to AWS architecture, whenever you see any AWS architecture, the dotted ones, if you see that, those are all availability zones. Now you tell me, which one is highly available, the top or bottom? Hmm? How about others? Who is sitting quietly? Excellent. You said right. The bottom one is highly available. Now you tell me. Now let me ask you why it is not highly available here. The first one, the top one. Why it is not highly available? Why it is not HA? The answer is you are having only one availability zone, or the answer is you have only one server there. Guys, it is not about availability zone. Guys, in one availability zone also, can you achieve availability? Yes, you can. But the problem here is redundancy, RMF. So you have only one server over here. This is database. You have only one server here. If you have only one server, there is no redundancy. R is failed. That meaning high availability is gone. You have single instance. That's it. Whereas here, the bottom one, what is this? 3 Bahubali arrows, huh? Devasena. These three, this is called load balancer. So this load balancer, right? Now you have the instances. How many availability zones are there in the bottom one here? 2 availability zones. Can we place two instances in one availability zone, 2 instances in another availability zone? Can we place it? Yes. And load balancer is distributing the traffic across availability zones. Yes or no? Yes or no? So this load balancer has a capacity to distribute the traffic to instances across availability zones. So guys, the exact load balancer definition is that. So very important definition. So you should say this. See, load balancer can distribute the traffic to multiple instances across multiple availability zones. Do you understand how did we frame the load balancer? No need to by heart. It's just a logic. It's just a logic. Do you agree, guys? Everyone? Super. Good. So now let's go to this. Before going to this, I need to introduce few more topics here. So let me open that. Okay, so now let me take few names here. So we have Gangadhar, Vamsi, Ankit. Oh, you there, Ankit? Where is our Anusha? Okay, our Anusha is also here. Right? Okay, let's say these 4 people, right? So let's say these 4 people. So Let's say this is our AWS. Okay. So AWS is public cloud or private cloud? So AWS is public cloud. We know that AWS is public cloud. Guys, in general, whatever you go into the public, you will also become public only, na? Yes or no? Yes, will also become public. So what this guy Gangadhar, what he did is he went and he went and created his server. He went and launched his instances like this. He went and launched his instances. Good. And Vamsi also went and launched his instances like this. Like this. Ankit also went and launched his instances like this. Right? And then this guy, Anusha, also she went and launched the instances like this. Good. So everyone launched their instances in AWS public cloud. Guys, as this is public cloud, everyone, everything is public. Everything is public. Is it good that these two talk to each other? Each and these customers talk to each other like this? There is no security, na, guys. No security. After Gangadhar, Vamsi, Ankit, Anusha, they launched the instances. They found out that, oh my God, this is public cloud. So that meaning, so Gangadhar can go and check Vamsi's instances and Vamsi can go and check Ankit's and Anusha like this, which is not good. So the area, the environment that we need to use, it should be private or public for us? It should be private, na? Guys, it should be private, na? Yes, it should be private. So you are doing some private stuff in cloud. Can we call it as private cloud? Yes. So now you can have your own private cloud of your own here, even though it is in public. So even though it is in public, you can have your own private cloud. Isolated environment. Isolated environment. Now is it secure? Yes or no? Now is it secure? Now it is damn secure. So can we call this as private cloud? Yes, this is called it as private cloud. So is it physical or virtual? Virtual. Can I put like this? And what is what do we got the name here? Virtual private cloud, and that is called VPC. What is that called? VPC. Do you understand why we need VPC, guys? So VPC is used to secure our entire environment, entire infrastructure in AWS. Yes or no? So it is used to secure our entire infrastructure. It is used to secure our entire infrastructure in AWS. Our own stuff. So can I also call it as this VPC is like a virtual data center for us? Yes, it's like a virtual data center for us. So can I call this as each and everything here is one VPCs? Yes, these are all VPCs, no? These are all VPCs. Now you also tell me one certification question. You can answer it now itself. See, two VPCs can talk to each other. You tell me. Huh? Two VPCs definitely will not talk to each other. But if required, yes. If required, yes. So keep this in mind. Here, let me write by default two VPCs. So by default, VPCs don't talk to each other. If you give chocolates, if required, yes. I mean, so you guys also sometimes don't talk to each other, na? You are a baby, huh? Whatever. So, okay, whichever. So guys, here, two VPs cannot talk to each other by default, but if required, yes, definitely, yes. Okay, now we have Mumbai. Guys, this is AWS. Can I call it as Mumbai region? This is as Mumbai region. Yes, I call it as Mumbai region. Now you tell me based on this diagram, one Mumbai region can have multiple VPCs. One region can have multiple VPCs. Yes, yes. Certification question. One region can have multiple VPCs. Yes. One region can have multiple VPCs. So guys, anyone can go and launch the instances in AWS now? Guys, yes or no? Yes. That meaning, does the AWS will make us very frustrated or difficult to go and launch our own instance? No, because remember guys, definitely we need to have a VPC. Guys, your entire instances, databases, etc., data should be inside the VPC only. Na? So guys, here, AWS provide us a default VPC. What he is provide? AWS provides us a default VPC. He provide a default VPC. We can use that until we go and create our own VPCs. AWS provide a default VPC. When you go and go ahead and then launch our instances, that will be in the default VPC. It will be still secure. But once we learn more and more and more, once we are very good technical guy, once we become very good technical, then we will create our own VPCs. That is also there in coming days. You're getting it? VPC is used to secure our entire environment. Yes or no? Yes. Let me give an example. Let's have some fun. Guys, have you heard about Sulab complex? Do you know Sulab complex? Huh? Yes. So, okay, let's see. This is Sulab complex. So in this Sulab complex, we'll have inside that you'll have your own compartments. Yes or no? Or if you take airport washrooms also, you'll have your own compartments. Sulab complex will also have compartments, guys. Yes. Shauchalay. Yes. Yes. So each compartment should be secured, right? That meaning I would say this Sulab complex is like AWS and each compartment is like VPC. So if you want to secure, go inside that. Okay. Right. This is our own environment. Right. Okay. Now you also tell me, can two compartments or two people can talk to each other? Like, Mama macha, ho gaya, chalo, ho gaya. Right? I pay that. No, that's the reason why two VPCs cannot talk to each other. But if you have a friend, next to you, like to this, अरे चल भाई कितना देर लग रहा. Right? Yes. If required, yes. If required, yes. Okay. So now you have this VPC. Now you have the compartment. You think that, okay, I went into the Sulab complex and I went into the compartment and you feel that you are secure, but you have not put the lock. Are you secure in that compartment? You think that you went into the Sulab complex. You think that you went into your own compartment, but you have not put the lock. It's not safe. The same thing. Don't think that even though you are using AWS, even though you are in VPC, but if you don't configure it properly or don't use it properly, it is still danger. So security you need to handle by us only. So this Shauchalaya or Sulab complex, the security guy will not come and put the lock. He will provide the compartment. That's it. Whether how to use it, it's up to you. The same thing. AWS will give you everything, each and everything. But it's up to you whether you want to put the lock or not. If you put it, nice. Otherwise, Sukhi Bhava. Got it? Understood? Insane. So this is VPC is a very big section. Okay, so VPC is very big section, but I just gave you just a trailer on VPC. But we have Nacham. There's so many things. Okay, so let me hypnotize you a bit here now. So if you take this is AWS. Inside the AWS, what do we have? Region. Inside the region, what do you have? VPC. Inside the VPC, what you have? Availability zones. So this would be the architecture. So our outer side is AWS. Inside that, we need to select the region. Inside the region, we have the VPC. We'll have our own VPC. And then where do you place all your servers? In the availability zone, 1A, 1B, and 1C. And you have your servers instances inside it. And this you have the instances inside this. And we know that these instances can talk to each other. That meaning this is interconnected here. Guys, is this clear? A small trailer, not a trailer, it's just a first look of VPC. But we have so many things. Now you see this diagram. And guys, if I show you any diagram, don't watch it like if you're watching 10 heroines at the same time, here and there. No. So just come from outer layer, what you have on the outer layer, and inside that what you have, and inside that what you have, like this. So now you tell me this you have AWS VPC available on one availability zone, and you have instances. Now you tell me this is highly available or not. Today, highly available or not? Answer is no. Very good. Why? Because it has only one instance. Because it has only one instance. So, guys, even though it is in AWS, I said, even though it is in VPC, even though it is in availability zone, when there is no redundancy, no high availability. AWS will provide everything. It is up to us. We need to configure it. Now you tell me this, highly available or not? Fantastic. This is highly available. You have the load balancer and you have the instances across it. Do you see these 4 arrow marks? These 4 arrow marks represent auto scaling. Can we have auto scaling across availability zones? Yes, possible. And how many availability zones are there here? 2. 2, sorry. And finally, this. Can you tell me, is it highly available? What is the difference between the previous one and this one? Yes, previously there were only 2 availability zones, and here it is 3 availability zones. Can you achieve the environment of high availability with the 1 availability zone? Yes, possible. Can you achieve the high availability with 2 availability zones? Yes, possible. With 3 availability zones, even more super highly available. Even more super high available. Got it, guys? You know one important thing? Without entering into the AWS itself, you are judging AWS architectural diagrams, guys. That is the power of basics. That is the power of basics. You have not into the AWS yet, but you are judging the architecture, whether it is highly available or not, and you are able to understand the architectures. That is too good. Too good. So what we will be doing from tomorrow is, okay, there is question. What is minimum availability zone for regions? First of all, do we need to care about that minimum maximum availability zones in one region? It's handled by AWS. If AWS is providing for that, we will be using it. But minimum, you tell me, how many should be there? Minimum. Minimum. Chicha, minimum. If you are saying 1, where is high availability, dude? If you're saying 1, where is high availability? Implement the concept, right? Minimum, how many availability zones will be there? You should say 2 or more, you should say. 1, never say. You should never say 1 in AWS, because in AWS, everything we should be talking about highly availability. Till now, I'm spoon feeding you biryani, and lastly I asked, what did you eat? I ate curd rice. Huh? How should I feel? Okay, good. So guys, now take the screenshot. Let me know once done. Put it as done. Done now. And take the second one. You are still on available. Any use case we use one availability zone depends. Definitely. But it is recommended to only use one availability zones? No. Can you achieve a high availability one availability zone, right, sir? Yes. I said no. Yes. So guys, from tomorrow, what we'll do is, guys, from tomorrow, you should never dare to miss the class, especially from tomorrow.